In this video, I'm going to show you 3 ways of getting a data file up and ready to use in R. Now, we've covered this a bit in class, but I thought it would be helpful to pull this all together into a single video. So the easiest way to get a data file ready to go is if it happens to be a file that's part of a package that you have loaded up. So one of the packages that has data sets that we're going to be using a fair amount in this class is the car data package. And you could install car by itself and it will automatically install car data as well, like that. And then a data set that we use in other videos is called Davis. And in order to bring up that data set, we would just use the data function, and then you can actually see the full list of data sets that are available. Some of them are available in the base R data set, but you could pick from this list, or you could just type the name of the data set, which is Davis in this case. And then, as always, I can hit View with a capital V to see the data set. So if you happen to have a data set that you want to use that's already part of the R environment, either the base R environment or a package like car data, then that's a very easy way to do it. But oftentimes you're going to, in real life, going to be dealing with data sets that you have in a file somewhere on your hard drive or something like that. And there's 2 file types that we're going to deal with in this class. One is a CSV file and the other is an R data file. So let me pull up an R data file first, because it's a little simpler. So if you want to open an R data file, then you would click this button here to load it. And I'm just going to go ahead and find one here. Here's a data set called Moons. And it's specifically an R data file. So just hit open. Loads that up. You can see the data frame there, and again we can hit View to see what we've got. Just a quick point that now we have 2 data sets loaded in our workspace, and that's fine. You don't have to have just one, but just be aware that both of them are in there. If you were to save your workspace right now, it would save both of these as a single file. And that might not be what you want. So I usually find that once I'm done with something, I clean it out so that I'm only really working with one thing at a time. So I'm actually going to clean out that as well. And let me go and show you how to do this if it is a CSV file. Now, CSV file is a standard file format that many quantitative programs such as Excel, SPSS, Jamovi, and R all can use. But instead of using this folder right here, this little icon, we're going to use the import dataset folder or button. And I use the from text reader option. Now I need to go looking for my data set. And I happen to have one here called Duncan.csv. So I'm going to open that one up. Don't even know what it is, but for our purposes, that's fine. Okay, so we have 4 variables here: type of occupation, type of income, education level, prestige level. We don't really need to worry about any of this. This is just to show how we would get this data set up into R so we could do things with it. So I'm going to just go, that looks fine to me. I'm going to just go ahead and import it. Notice that it tells me what it's going to call the data frame. So if I wanted it to be something different, that would be my opportunity to change that. I could do it within R too once it's loaded. But the time when I often use this to rename something is if by default it's going to be a long name. In general, in R, anytime you can keep your variable names, your data frame names as short as possible, the better, because you don't want to have to type them over and over again if they're long. So one thing that you do get when you open a CSV file using the reader option here is that it'll automatically run the view command for you, so you can see it here. So that's kind of nice. One little wrinkle here is that this does not come in exactly as a data frame. It's a little bit unclear what this thing is here, spec table, blah, blah, blah. But we actually want that to be a data frame. There are some functions, some statistics you might run, and R might complain that it's looking for a data frame, and you're asking it to do some statistics on something that's not exactly a data frame. So the command that I use to make this become a data frame is just to call it the same thing that it is most of the time. And I use the as.data.frame function. And so all this is doing is taking this object and changing it from its current type to data frame type. Doesn't change anything about the data. It just sort of gets it ready for you to do all the kinds of things that we're going to do in this class. So hopefully that's helpful. Most commonly, we will be playing with R data or CSV files, but occasionally we'll be playing with data sets that are located within R itself. But as you leave this class and start using R on your own, you're most likely to use files from the outside of the program. And so getting really comfortable with importing data from other sources is a helpful thing to know.